What's up, Husker Nation? It's your boy, Adam Carricker. I'm getting ready to go do our yearly NFL summer football camp for K through 12 aspiring football players in the region with which I live, which is why I'm donning this wonderfully glorious shirt. I say that with all humility in the world, and I caught wind that the number one ranked recruited high school player in the entire state of Nebraska just committed to the Huskers. All right, so Mr. Carter Nelson, again, number one recruit in the state of Nebraska, 6'4", 215-pound tight end out of Ainsworth, just committed to the Huskers. Now do me a favor, all right? If you're pumped about his potential, the potential that he has, the type of player he could be at the University of Nebraska, smash that like button. And or, if you're just a fan of Matt Rule's priority, he's made it a priority to recruit in-state players in the state of Nebraska, smash that like button. Now, Mr. Carter Nelson, as I mentioned, 6'4", 215 pounds out of Ainsworth. Now, it's interesting to me, not a whole lot of tight ends are out there doing high jump and track and running the 100-meter dash like this guy. In fact, Nick Saban came to the state of Nebraska to watch him at a track meet. I just thought that was kind of cool. All right, that doesn't happen a lot. But when you talk about high jump, you talk about body control. That's a big body to have that much body control. So I started thinking about difficult catches, weird angles, jump balls, being able to catch those types of things, and how that body control might translate over to the football field. All right, now, I'm excited about what he can do, his potential growth. He's obviously an insanely athletic, talented kid. It's a somewhat, kind of, sort of packed tight end room. Lots of talent. We need some people to step up, okay, start fulfilling that talent, because there is a boatload of talent in that room. You got Thomas Fedoni, Nate Borkeshire, who looks like the starter at the moment. We'll see come game 1 versus Minnesota. You got Eric Gilbert, okay? Can Carter make some sort of an immediate impact? That's the question I've gotten the most since he announced his commitment. Now, like I said, nobody's quite stood out just yet in that tight end room. Okay, the question for me, who's going to block? Who's going to block? All these guys are talented. They're athletic. They're fast. They're all highly recruited. You know, Nate's only a sophomore and he's starting to blossom as a talent, even though he was a walk-on. Who's going to block? Now, Carter's probably going to have to, at the weight room, develop just a smidge or a lot. He's going to have to develop, okay, just like any other high school kid. I'm not saying he's Matt Harrion or he's going to be Matt Harrion. When I watch his high school film, I see athleticism similar to a guy that I came in with in 2002, Matt Harrion, who made an immediate impact in the pass game. Okay, making catches deep down the field and threatening defenses and making defensive coordinators nervous. All right, Matt was only 220 the year we came in together as freshmen. Now, when you look at Matt Rule, the recruiting he's doing in-state, recruiting he's doing nationally. All right. Of the top 5 in-state recruits in the state of Nebraska, we currently have 4 committed. All right, Carter Nelson, number 2 recruit in the state of Nebraska, wide receiver Isaiah McMorris, just out of Omaha, just recently committed. Also Davion Hall, wide receiver, number 1 quarterback in the state of Nebraska. If you hadn't heard yet, Daniel Kalen, okay, out of Bellevue West, and he's a teammate with a couple of guys I already mentioned. All right, undecided. Okay, offensive tackle, 6'4", 310-pound Caleb Pyfram out of Central Omaha. Come on, Caleb, make it 5 out of 5. I've heard he might be leaning somewhere else, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so 4 out of the top 5 at this point, pretty darn good in my opinion. Now the top 10 in-state recruits in Nebraska is projected to get around 7, give or take. We'll see how this pans out nationally. With Carter's commitment, this could bump the Huskers up into the top 15 at this point in time for the 2024 recruiting class rankings. And again, I always take them with a grain of salt. They do matter. Look at Georgia, look at Alabama, look at Clemson. Okay, also look at Nebraska. You know, we've out-recruited most teams in the West for years. Hasn't come to fruition, but that's going to change, hopefully, under Matt Rule. So they matter, but I take them with a grain of salt. Here's why. I've always said, it's not who you are when you walk through the door. It's what you do once you're in the building, but it sure helps to be able to jump higher, run faster, and be a little bit stronger when you walk through that door. But now you got to develop once you're in the building. Okay, one final thought on Carter himself. Nationally, he's considered a top 100, depending on which recruiting ranking service you look at, a top 50 player potentially. So there's reason for excitement, reason for optimism. I can't wait to see what he could potentially do. I got 3 questions for you fine folks at home. Number 1, hold me accountable. Do you think I overemphasize the importance of in-state recruiting? Again, my stance is you start in-state, you go to the 500-mile radius, and then you go beyond. You obviously got to go beyond, but I think you always start close to home, no matter what university you're coaching at. Obviously, this is Nebraska football. Number 2, Husker fans are rightfully cautious right now, okay, about the program, where it's going to go, things of that nature. But here's my question. Do you find it hard not to be optimistic about Matt Rule from what you've seen of him so far? Just simply say yes or no in the comments below. Facebook, Twitter, and or YouTube. All right, Updates, Character Chronicles returns August 1st. We're just over 30 days away. We're going to be not only the show, but a website. We're going to have merchandise. Okay, tune in tomorrow. Okay, we're going to be putting out a Carter Nelson highlight video on Thursday. And if you haven't noticed, I'm putting out highlight videos throughout this entire summer, all the way up to August 1st. Typically, on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time. I will put out a special one July 4th morning as well. Here's my last question for you fine folks at home, and then we're going to throw the bones. Will Nebraska beat Minnesota on August 31st? Oh, it's never too soon to start making your way too early win-loss predictions. All right, until next time, Husker Nation, go big. Red and always remember, throw the ball.